Hello YouTube, Urban Outdoorsman here. This is my first video on YouTube. I want to show you my guns. We'll start out with this one. This is my favorite. Pull out a chair here. This is my 1941. Back up here. Remington 512. Get this in the picture here. It's a 1941 22 long rifle, bolt action. Interesting thing about these guns is it utilized a tube feed. You can see that's where it gets loaded. Right there. Right there. See that? Get that all the way. See that opening? That's where you drop them in there. So again, the interesting thing about this particular rifle is it's a tube feed along with a bolt action. Particularly interesting. Obviously, bolt action's pretty self-explanatory. From the tube, it'll pop up in there. That'll load it. You pull it back. That ejects the spent shell, and then brings up a new one. And then you're ready to go. Here's the safety. See the little red dot there? And now it's safe. Pretty easy. There's a firing indicator right there. But right now the safety is on. This particular gun was my father's first rifle. My grandfather bought this gun along with my dad, and my dad was, he was pretty young. He was probably 14 or 15. He bought this from a sporting goods shop in St. Louis. Basically, it was used when he bought it. It's in really good shape. As you can see, the bluing's, I guess you'd say it's fair. It doesn't look brand new, obviously. It's not shiny black. It's kind of a grayish. And down here on the tube part, it's starting to get a little brown. I don't know if you can see it very well. Little cheap little sling on it. Again, my grandfather bought this along with my dad. I never got to meet my grandpa. And my dad is 69 years old. So my dad's got several guns. I've got several. This particular gun means a hell of a lot to me. Interesting things about this rifle. The barrel's lost quite a bit of its blue. The stock, bear in mind I haven't wiped the fingerprints off it or anything, and I do shoot it every weekend. It has been treated with something. That's what my dad says. You will notice this bright, shiny bolt handle right there. My dad actually dropped it while he was hunting and had to get a new bolt welded on, probably in the 60s. So they put on this fantastic, bright, shiny chrome bolt, whereas the rest of it is obviously blue-ish. So it fires great. It's very accurate. The thing I like about these 5 Series Remingtons is, they're good and solid. They feel solid. It's heavy. I've held 10-22s. Lots of the assault, well, I don't want to say assault rifle. I want to call tactical rifles assault rifles. That's what anti-gun people call them. Tactical 22s, and they feel pretty light. This is heavy. This is a heavy rifle. Solid. Damn accurate. It's damn accurate. It's iron sights. It's just a very basic kind of adjustable sight. You can adjust it forward and backward. The front sight's pretty obvious, like an I-beam sort of sight. So you can see that. I'll show you the writing on it. Show you the Remington logo. There it is. Can you see it? Can you see the logo? Let me hold it still. Remington. As you can see, it's drilled and tapped right there for a scope. And there's the Sportsmaster logo. So again, I believe I've done some research. It's a 1941 model, which would make it 72 years old. It still fires like a honey. It has been having a problem lately with ejecting spent shells. One day, I took the bolt out to clean it. Take the bolt out, hold the trigger, make sure the safety's forward. Just pull it all the way out like that. See that? You can't really see any light in there. And you slide the barrel back in as you hold the trigger, just like that. Safety's on. Still ready to fire because you got that little indicator sticking out. But as I was saying, one day I pulled the bolt out, the action. Call it whatever you will. Forgive me. You know what I'm talking about, you real good guys. And I went to put it back in. It wouldn't quite go all the way in. Something was in the way, blocking it from inserting all the way into the barrel. So after looking at what was blocking it, one of the pins, there's a couple levers in there, was sticking up. I pushed it down. I managed to get the action back in. I got firing it again, and I noticed that it wasn't ejecting the spent shells, that it was still pulling all the way back and just barely grabbing onto the bottom rim of the shell casings. So now, out of every full set of when it's fully loaded, out of a whole set of firing rounds, which would be either 21 or 22 shorts, 17 longs, or 15 long rifle 22s, which is the max what it holds. And yes, it does shoot all three. It shoots long rifle and short 22s. It'll eject about 3 or 4 of those casings if I work the action just right, real slow, and then pull it back fast. I think that's how it was working. It'll eject about half of them, but I still have to knock off the 2. I still have to knock off the remaining shells. So coming up here, I am getting my gun reblued within the next week. Even this fantastic little shiny chrome bolt that matches nothing on it. Again, I told you the story about that, how my dad broke the handle off, and this is how the gunsmith at the time replaced it. It doesn't match, it doesn't bother my dad, but because it is my dad's first rifle, it means a hell of a lot to me. I'm going to get it blue to all match. But they're going to re-blue it. It's going to look nice and new, and they're going to fix the shell casing ejector issue. So, within the next week, I'm going to do a follow-up video, and it should be like a brand new rifle. I'm really looking forward to that. It's damn accurate. I take it to the range every weekend. Outdoor range, indoor range, where rifles are allowed, and the damn thing outshoots me. Got a Remington, see that? Plastic butt plate. See where it says Remington on there? Can't see it much. Forgive my little laptop computer here. But I just love this old rifle. So, and what else I'm going to do is I'm going to put a vintage scope on it. I was thinking a Weaver 330. Why 330? Well, from what I understand, in the 1950s they were very popular. They were made from 1931 to 1940, and later, from what I understand, they even made military versions of it. And the thing I like about the 330, it's a long tube scope. And I just think it's going to look beautiful on here. There's something about those old tube scopes. They just look magnificent. And I really want this rifle to look pristine. The barrel's going to look new. I'm going to get that reblued. I'm going to get the new ejector pin. And I'm going to get the new vintage scope on it eventually. But next week it's going to get reblued. This little chrome thing sticking out, no longer going to be an issue. You're going to see a brand new 512, and again, it shoots great now, shoots accurate now, but I have to flick out those spent casings, and it's probably my fault. It wasn't doing that when I first got it. But again, 72 years old, looks great. You can't beat it. Only thing I won't touch on this gun is the stock. It's got a patina that only 72 years of use can do, and I just won't touch that. Anyway, this is my 512. I hope I didn't bore you to death, but here she is, and I do thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned, because I'm going to make a follow-up video when she comes back from the Smith. Urban Outdoorsman here. Thanks for watching, and keep your guns clean.